D'Angelo's decision to kill Patrice and Keith Harrington was willful, deliberate, and premeditated, as evidenced by the nature and extent of the fatal injuries inflicted and the fact that the defendant at the time had already committed numerous other killings in a similar fashion. D'Angelo's intent to steal and rape also was demonstrated by evidence found at the scene and the fact that he had already committed a very large number of rapes and thefts in a similar manner. On Thursday, August 21st, 1980 at 6:30 p.m., their father, Roger, returned to the residence and found Keith and Patrice in their bed, murdered. Their bodies were face down on the bed, covered with a comforter. Patrice was wearing a robe and Keith was nude. Pieces of brown cord were located on the bed. A small knotted piece of brown rope was located on the bedroom floor. Ligature marks were observed on the wrists of both bodies and on the ankles of Patrice's body. A slight mark was on Keith's ankle. Patrice slept with her small baby blanket, which was found between Keith and Patrice's murdered bodies. Patrice's purse was observed open in the kitchen. Pieces of bread were found on the counter. Semen stains were noted on the back of Patrice's right leg and on the comforter. Vaginal swabs from Patrice also were collected. A mixture of DNA consistent with one foreign major contributor and one minor contributor, her husband, Keith Harrington, was generated from the sperm fraction of the vaginal swab. On March 12, 2020, a buccal swab was obtained from the defendant, Joseph D'Angelo. The DNA profile from Joseph D'Angelo matches the foreign major DNA profile from the sperm fraction. The probability of choosing an individual at random who could have been the foreign major contributor is more rare than 1 in 1 trillion unrelated individuals.
Thank you, counsel. Defense counsel wish to be heard as to a factual basis. All right. Regarding count 10, that is a charge of murder of Patrice Harrington. That count currently charges an open-ended murder to the allegation that you acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation when you unlawfully and with malice aforethought murdered Patrice Harrington, which occurred August 21st, 1980 in the County of Orange in violation of Penal Code Section 187, Paren A, murder in the first degree. To that charge, sir, how do you plead?
Guilty.
It's further alleged as a special circumstance to the murder of Patrice Harrington that murder was committed in the commission of rape within the meaning of Penal Code Section 261 and pursuant to Penal Code Section 190.2, Paren A, Paren 17, Paren 3. To that special circumstance to murder, do you admit or deny?
I admit.
Further alleged as a special circumstance to the murder of Patrice Harrington that it was committed in the commission of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 459 and a violation of Penal Code Section 190.2, Paren A, Paren 17, Paren 7. To that special circumstance to murder in the first degree, do you admit or deny?
I admit.
Regarding count 11, the charge of murder of Keith Harrington, that count currently charges an open-ended murder to the allegation that you acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation when you unlawfully and with malice aforethought murdered Keith Harrington, which occurred August 21st, 1980 in the County of Orange, a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Paren A, murder in the first degree. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
It's further alleged as a special circumstance to murder of Keith Harrington that it was committed in the commission of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 459 and a violation of Penal Code Section 190.2, Paren A, Paren 17, Paren 7. To that special circumstance to murder in the first degree, do you admit or deny?
I, Ed Mayer,
Counsel?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. This is Manuela Whithoon, count 12 victim. Manuela Whithoon lived with her husband, David, in an upper middle class community in Irvine, Orange County, California. She was only 28 years old. On February 1st, 1981, David was admitted to the hospital due to a stomach virus. On February 5th, 1981, Manuela had dinner at her parents' house. She visited David at the hospital, and then she went home. David called Manuela at approximately 11 p.m. to be sure she got home safely. That was the last time he spoke to her. David was to be released from the hospital the next day. Manuela told her neighbors that she was sleeping in a sleeping bag because she was cold without David being there, and she was excited for him to come home from the hospital. After Manuela